Welcome. I know that this is not my usual time. I'm doing this Facebook Live as a replacement for this past Saturday at 7 a.m. That is my usual time when I go live and I connect with all of you. But today, Thursday, March the 7th, I just want to welcome all of you to another time of coffee, ideas, and connecting with Alejandro. And I am so glad to be here with you once again. I almost forgot, since it's coffee, ideas, and connection, then of course coffee is a very important element. So for all of you coffee drinkers, I know that some of you today, right now it's about 6:16 in the afternoon, and perhaps, you don't drink coffee in the afternoon. For me, it really doesn't affect my sleeping habits, so I can have a good cup of coffee, and the smell of coffee is good in the morning, in the early afternoon, and even in the early evening. So, cheers to all of you. Great cup of coffee. And today, what I would like to talk to you or share some information about a very important topic. Whether you are a leader, whether you're in leadership positions, or any position that you have in life, this topic is crucial, is essential, because I'm going to be talking a little bit about communication, and not just communication alone, but connection. Are there any differences between communication and connection? Is it better to just communicate, or is it better to connect with people? And these ideas are not just my own ideas. I got a lot of information from a great book written by one of my mentors, Dr. John C. Maxwell. He has been an expert in leadership, in personal growth, in professional development for over 50 years. He's written over 100 books in this field, and one of his books, which had a tremendous impact in my own personal life, and it made me see that there is indeed a radical difference between communication and connection. How do we communicate, or how do we connect with people? We have to use different techniques, and a connection is a powerful tool to really make a significant difference in people's lives. And the book that John wrote is Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. And so just in the title of the book, if everybody communicates but only few connect, then you get the idea that there must be differences between pure communication and true connection. Now, let me ask you a question just to begin this. Who do you think you are when it comes to communications? Are you a great communicator, or are you an outstanding connector? That is the difference. That is the pivot that can change everything in our lives. Whether we come across as someone who just communicates, talks, or someone who is much more intentional about the art of communication, taking that art to the next level, to the level of connecting with people. And to begin with, I'm going to share a definition of what communication is. And in very simple terms, communication is the imparting or the exchanging of information. Whatever that information is, it could be the 7 o'clock news, okay, when a news anchor is given the news, is communicating with an audience via television. Um, uh, Whether that person is connecting, I seriously doubt. I mean, it's just communicating things, facts, what happened during the day. But he or she may not be real connecting with an audience. So, exchanging of information, that is what communication is. And there are indeed people who are excellent communicators, but they lack that ability to connect with people at a deeper level. Now, John Maxwell, in that book, in Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, shares a definition of what connection is all about. And I want to share that definition with you because it's a succinct, but a very comprehensive definition. And John says, connecting or connection is the ability to identify with people and relate to them in a way that it increases your influence with them. And I think that's a beautiful definition. Connection is the ability to identify with people and relate to them in such a way that it increases your influence with them. And when I say that that is a beautiful definition, it's because it ties in very, very almost perfectly with a definition of leadership. And John Maxwell says the leadership is influence, nothing less and nothing more. Influence. Leadership, when you think leadership, next to it, put the word influence in it, because that's what leadership, true leadership, is all about, is having influence with people, influencing people for good. Now, if you are a leader, a true leader, and you want to connect with people, that should be your desire as a leader, to connect with people. Then connecting is that ability to identify and relate to them so that you can increase your influence with them. So these two concepts are very much intertwined one with the other. So leaders do not necessarily communicate, but they connect with their people. Now, I have gone to, as a speaker, and I have gone to listen to other speakers, and I can tell you that some of them, once you start listening to them, you get the idea very quickly, it's all about them. And that is not the way that we connect with other people. It's not about me. It's not about you if you happen to be speaking in front of an audience. We need to switch from a me mode of operation to a you mode of operation, because the other people are the real important part of the equation. Now, what I want to share with you are a few things, perhaps 8 things, that are critical when connecting with others. And the first thing, number 1, is this is a very critical, very important thing. And connecting is not about you. Connecting is not about me. Connecting is about others. You see, I am trying to connect with you through this little green light that I'm looking at, which is my laptop camera. And I'm trying to connect with you. So I want to come across as a real person. I want to come across as an open, vulnerable person. I am not the important thing here, the important person here. You are on the other side of that camera. And I want to, by all means, I want to truly connect with all of you. That is my desire. That is what I love to do. So remember, connecting, first of all, is not about you. It's about others. Number two, connecting or connection is a personal choice. It is a personal choice. I choose to connect with you. No one is forcing me to connect. I am connecting because that is something that I'm passionate about, that I love to do. I love to be interested in other people because I can learn from them. That I get a kick out of connecting with people and spending time and getting to know them. So connecting is a personal choice. And as a personal choice, you have to be intentional about connecting. Intentionality is an element of connection. Number three, the ability to connect with others begins with understanding the value of people. And that is key. If you don't value people, if you think that people are not important to you, then it's not that you're going to be an average connector. It would be impossible for you to connect with anybody. Because the premise of connecting is that, and what is loving about connecting with other people is the fact that you consider other people very, very important. And you have a desire to connect. And because you value people, then you make a personal choice to connect with people. So you see how number two and number three are very much linked to one another. Valuing people gives you the ability to make a personal choice to connect with people. Number four, connecting is reaching out. It requires effort. It requires action on your part. Passivity does not help you to connect in any way. You have to be intentional. You have to take the initiative to connect. You cannot expect connection to start with other people back to you. Connection starts from the connector extending out. So you have to take the initiative to connect with others. Never expect others to start connecting with you. It's born in you and it moves outward, going to others. It's like I equate connecting with building a bridge from your heart to another person's heart. And I'm not talking here about like an emotional, like an intimate romantic connection or relationship, although that is very applicable to connecting. But I'm talking about the sharing of emotions along that bridge that you build from your heart to another person's heart. That's where connection happens. That's where the magic of connecting happens. Number 5, connectors find common ground with others. They are not focused on themselves. They find commonalities, common areas with others. And I remember one time, I used to be an active member of Toastmasters a few years ago, and I remember visiting a chapter that was not my weekly chapter. It was a different one. And after the meeting was over, someone comes to me and says, would you like to go for lunch one time? I would like to get to know one another a little bit better. I said, yeah, sure, that's fine. I love to do that. I love to invite people for coffee and get to know them and so forth. But that person approached me and says, okay, well, that's fine. The day came, and so we met at this restaurant, and we sat and we started having a lunch. And this lady began talking to me about herself. Her life, all the accomplishments that she's done, how outstanding she did, all the awards that she had won, and went over and over and over. Talking about herself for about 45 minutes. And then after she finished, she said, oh, by the way, why don't you tell me a little bit about you? And we had another maybe 5 minutes because we had to go back to our activities. I had a meeting afterwards, but that's an example of people don't connect when they spend all of their time talking about themselves. Now, I do realize that, and I'm sure that you heard it many times, what is the favorite subject that people love to talk about? It's about themselves. And there's a place and there's a time to really talk about yourself, but don't overdo it. Don't abuse that. Because even though people love to get to know you and see who you are, but if the whole conversation is about you, people get the idea very quickly that they are not very important in your eyes. And that is not a good element to connect with them. So connection, it's about the other person. You want to get to know them. And of course, they're going to ask you about you and so forth, but show them that you are interested in them. Number 6, connectors create an experience that everyone enjoys. You see, connectors typically, they are high-frequency people, that love life, that love to live life to the fullest, to the maximum, squeezing the last drop of juice out of life. And so they love life, and when they're with people, they want others to experience the same thing, that passion for life. And so connectors are moment creators. They create wonderful moments, not just for themselves, but for the people that they are with. They love everybody to have a wonderful time. So connectors create wonderful times for everyone. Number 7, Connecting with people is a two-way street. It is a dialogue and not a monologue. It is not a monologue. It is a dialogue. Number 8, connectors inspire people. Connectors are inspiring. I mean, they are highly motivational and they want to inspire others. So hang out with connectors and they will definitely inspire you. And the last one, I'm sorry, this is number 9. I apologize. I said 8 things. There are 9 things. Genuine connections create change. True connections create change. And let me give you a quote by George Bernard Shaw. It says, "Progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything." So change begins with a new mindset. And connections create change. And change is good. Welcome change. Do not be afraid of change, because progress doesn't happen without change. Now, as a matter of fact, I mean, I'm talking about connecting, and I'm talking about change, and I'm talking about connectors are moment creators, and they are inspiring people. And tomorrow, I will be driving about 7 hours from Atlanta, Georgia, to Orlando, Florida, to attend another session of the International Maxwell Certification, and it's going to be great. There, as a certified speaker, coach, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, there are 2 events per year, one in March and one in August, for the International Maxwell Certification, where about 3,000 people or even more, we get together in Orlando, Florida, for 3 or 4 days, 5 days of intensive training and different meetings. And tomorrow night is going to be a DISC night, a personality based on the DISC mode of human behavior. Then the next day is a think tank, a whole day with members of the faculty given workshops and sessions. And then day 1, 2, and 3 of the Maxwell certification, I'll be going as an alumni, a member of the mentorship program, and we have sessions just for us, I mean, with incredible thought leaders, and even John Maxwell, then Paul Martinelli, the president of the John Maxwell team, and the faculty. Incredible, outstanding mentors. And just I'll be reconnecting with friends, people that I normally stay connected and in touch via social media, but I'll have the opportunity to meet them in person once again, and to hug them, and to learn what they have been up to, and share stories, and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, and in between just enjoy each other and keep growing one another in a spirit of love, in a spirit of respect, in a spirit of camaraderie, in a spirit of wanting to add value to as many people as we possibly can. Remember that iron sharpens iron. And I tell you, there's going to be a lot of sharpening in the next few days. And I love it. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you. Connecting. Find ways to connect with people. I'm sure that I will find many ways that not only I can reconnect with people that I know already in Orlando, but it's going to be a great opportunity, a fabulous time to connect with new colleagues, new coaches from hundreds of countries that are just coming to Orlando and will be spending time together. So, until the next time that we meet, remember, be kind, be passionate, and be well. Thank you. And for those of you who are going to be in Orlando, I am looking so much forward to connecting with you truly there. Be well.